Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt Atchity, this is Alonzo Duralde, that's Christy Lemire.
Hi.
We're here to talk about Justin Timberlake and the Tennessee Kids, a concert documentary. You're going to tell us all about it?
As your resident giggly teenage girl, I'm here to talk about Justin Timberlake plus the Tennessee Kids. There's punctuation that I like. So this is a Jonathan Demme concert film. He has done some other ones in his life that you might have heard of, including Stop Making Sense and a couple of Neil Young movies. But this is his biggest and most ambitious and most infectious, I would say, in a lot of ways. So this is about the last night of Justin Timberlake's 2020 tour, his final show at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And it takes you back behind the scenes for a little bit. You get to meet everybody in this giant band, giant group of dancers and backup singers. Everyone gets a moment to shine and say hello, and then they get right into the concert, and it's kind of a blast. And I'll admit, I was sitting there by myself on the couch at 9 o'clock in the morning, singing along with JT. I'm not ashamed to admit that. This movie is really fun. Take a look.
Tennessee Kids, y'all ready? Tennessee Kids, y'all ready? Vegas, y'all ready? Let me see you clap. Clap. Let me see you clap. Let me hear you say yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do you want it, baby?
I'm a dork. I like Justin Timberlake, and I suspect that if you like Justin Timberlake, that helps a great deal. You are not a gigantic fan.
First
I can
of all,
see from your
let's be
sad
clear.
look on your face.
If you don't like Justin Timberlake's music, you don't like music.
I guess not. I don't know, Alonzo. Do you
Well,
like, do
okay,
you like
that's a bit
fun?
bold.
Do you like fun, Alonzo?
No, I'm just kidding.
I,
No.
I find his stuff kind of whatever. There's a couple of hits that stand out, but to me it's a kind of samey. And this movie is, I mean, first of all, that you think that this is more infectious than Stop Making Sense.
Oh, I love Stop Making Sense.
I question everything about you now.
No, I totally do because
Okay.
and that's immersive and it draws you in. And what's so
Yes.
cool about it is that you don't see the audience in that really. But what this is big. This gives you the sense of being there
Yes.
in a different way from Stop Making Sense.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
fine, and that approach is fine. There's a lot. There are things about it that kind of bug me along the way. First of all, that whole thing at the beginning where everybody introduces themselves.
Yeah.
I get that's a nice gesture, like
nice.
here's all the dancers, here's all the band members. But like it's 10 minutes before the music starts.
A lot of
And
people.
The thing is, and then under the closing credits is where they show you how the set gets assembled. And I thought, put that under the opening
Yeah, that
credits
was
and let
a-
everybody introduce themselves at the end. You know, that would have been. I
That
think
was a little bit of a weird, I thought that was a little bit of a weird decision, right?
And it brings you full circle. Like once it's done, like ta-da! Here's how it looks.
But I'm just saying, I think for somebody who's sitting down to watch a concert
Uh-huh.
film, 10 minutes of introductions of people, sort of like,
Is it 10 whole minutes?
I checked.
That's a lot of people.
So there's that. And then something about Justin Timberlake's onstage mien that makes me crazy, and not in a good way, not in the way you're thinking, that drives me up the wall is, I remember like the first time he hosted Saturday Night Live, you could tell he was a little nervous and a little unsure, and he was great, and he knocked it out of the park. It was the first time they did, Bring It On Back to Omeleteville and all that stuff. It's really funny. Every time he's hosted SNL since then, there's this sense of, yes, it's me. And the entire concert is, yes, it's me. Like, he does the left side of the house, how you doing? Woo! During the first song. Like, that's the desperate thing you do later to keep people awake.
No.
I just-
He's a showman. I would say he rides that fine line, and it's really tough what he does because he's sexy and he's profane and he's inappropriate, but he's still got like this boyish kind of adorable thing that no matter who you are, you can connect with him. So I think there's genuine emotion, and part of what we see here in the intimate moments here, Declan Quinn, usual Jonathan Demme DP, shot this.
Nice.
The last song, especially during the end of Mirrors, which is not his best song at all, but you can see genuine emotion on his face when he's like looking around the crowd for the last time and he's saying goodbye to this tour, which has meant so much to him. So I think you get enough intimate moments where you get glimpses of who he actually is versus just like the bravado and the showmanship. There's both
Too
going
little,
on
too
there.
little, too late.
Oh, you were not
Yeah,
impressed.
I mean, look, like
You don't
this-
trust him.
I think where this suffers, if anything, it's one of those, you kind of, when you follow an artist, there's that moment where you still get to see them in clubs, and then you see them doing big venues, and you kind of lose something a little bit when they start doing big venues, right? That intimacy is kind of gone, and I think that
Wait, did Justin Timberlake ever have a club period?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, one of the challenges of seeing somebody who, when he's singing these ballady love songs like My Love, like they reconfigure the beginning of that song in a really interesting way, and you get this moment where you think, God, you could see him on a stage in a nightclub, as if it's almost a Torch song, right? Because he's certainly got the ability to do something like that, and it's arranged that way. And then, all right, now we're going to turn it back into a dance number, and which is great and super fun. But this is it's a big nonstop party, and so it's hard to get those intimate, emotional moments in the big nonstop party. Now that being said, this is a hell of a party, absolutely. I don't want to make it sound like I'm not enjoying it, because I thought that does it take a little while to get started? Sure. But that first number right off the bat, like, oh, this is a big show. And, there's a lot, it's a complicated set of choreography, and parts of the stage move around. That whole front of the stage that moves, that was a pretty impressive piece. As he walks out into the audience, I thought that this was really well staged. The access that the cameras have are particularly great. I've seen, that they switch around and you get different angles of him dancing, and he's got the moves. Look, like, this is a guy who's got a lot of talent, and as much as we admired, I remember we all were kind of positive on the Bieber documentary.
Right.
Bieber's got nothing on Timberlake. That's the thing, right?
It was his whole career to Justin Timberlake.
Part of, I think, what succeeds for us in the Bieber documentary is at least that doc does at least makes us believe that Bieber's put a lot of work in. And so you come away from that like, all right, this kid earned where he has. Like, you don't need to see any of that work with Timberlake, because it's just, he's got so much, it's like, well, obviously there's work there.
Although, but to be fair, those are different kind of docs.
No,
the Bieber one is very
totally.
is biographical, and there's like some music and some performance. And this is wall-to-wall performance, and this kind of movie can work. When I saw Stop Making Sense, I knew a couple of Talking Head songs, like I knew, the hits, like Burning Down the House and Psycho Killer or whatever. And I left that movie a convert. Like, I was like, holy shit, these guys are amazing. I want to buy everything they ever did. And this one did not win me over.
Maybe you knew a lot about Justin Timberlake prior to this. There was no room for discovery for you.
Could be.
One thing that's cool, I was going to say, is that these are songs we know, right? We've heard a million times, but a lot of them are arranged very, very differently. And he mixes in a couple of covers. One of the more intimate moments is when he does Human Nature.
Yeah, which is a really good cover of that song.
I
liked the cover, that and the Poison cover.
The Poison cover's fun.
But you point out, this is the 2020 tour, and that's his most recent album. Now, I had not spent a lot of time with that album because I like Future Sex Love songs better, Love Sounds better, and the one before that with Señorita on it. Like, I like his earlier albums. I spent more time with those. This one has now inspired
sold
me.
out, man.
No, but this one has inspired
about
me.
The music.
This one's inspired me to pick 2020 back up and listen to it again. So. If you're coming in this cold, obviously it didn't work on you. But
also, I want to say they included "Drink You Away," which is an amazing song. I'm really pleased that they did that.
And that was a really great arrangement.
Yes,
of that, right?
it's sort of a country song.
Right.
It is like a country rock song, and they brought in more of like a gospel kind of bluesy level to it. It's eye-opening if you are a fan of his. It's eye-opening if you're not. I dug it. I had a blast, and I wish I had been in a giant theater full of people watching it.
Yeah.
Not by myself like a loser on the couch. So my number is really high. I'm saying 9. I had a blast. What's your number?
I think I can't see.
You said 8.5.
8.5, yeah. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like, well, a couple of things I didn't like was that big weird cut right in the middle of it.
There's a big weird wipe before they do Belle Biv DeVoe Poison, which was also fun, which is also cool because he lets his background singers get a chance to shine on that song and on other songs too. But the Poison cover is fun. Yes, go ahead.
I give it a 6.5. I give that's a 9 for Demme and a 4 for Timberlake. It's it's beautifully made. Demme knows what he's doing, and I didn't realize it was Declan Quinn, but it's shot perfectly, and as far as like the kind of intimacy that you want from a concert film and getting you up close and all that stuff, hits all those marks, does all that stuff correctly. I just don't care for the songs that much, and I don't like his onstage persona.
Okay, other than that, it's great. So 6.5 for you. So we're saying 8 is our average.
100%.
Woo woo!
So you're wrong.
You can watch it now. You can Timberlake and chill all you like from the comfort of your own home.
It is on Netflix. Check it out.
Bye bye.